Poland's industrial transformation isn't just another economic story. It's the silent rewriting of Europe's manufacturing map. While Germany slides into its worst manufacturing crisis since World War II, Poland has spent the last 5 years building what might become the continent's most formidable industrial machine. This isn't about cheap labor anymore. It's about billions in battery plants, defense factories multiplying across the landscape, and a logistics network that now controls the flow of goods between Western Europe and the East. The shift is happening fast, and most people haven't even noticed yet. Germany is shutting down. Factory after factory, the lights are going out. Production in Germany dropped to its lowest level since the pandemic lockdowns. In 2024 alone, German manufacturing output fell by 4.5%. That's 7 straight quarters of decline. The automotive industry contracted by over 7%, lost 120,000 jobs. Gone. But here's the thing. While Europe struggles, Poland is quietly building an industrial machine no one saw coming. Foreign direct investment into Poland hit $28.6 billion in 2023, with 229 major projects landing in a single year. Poland now ranks 6th in Europe for foreign investment. Germany is aging, slowing, watching its factories close. Poland is building new plants, modern infrastructure, a workforce that's younger and hungrier. With Germany's industrial base no longer expanding but contracting into itself, the real story emerges in the practical decisions driving Europe's manufacturers across the border into Poland's waiting factories. If understanding Europe's industrial revolution matters to you, hit that subscribe button right now. The story is just getting started. Nearshoring. That's the word remaking the continent. Companies spent decades chasing cheap labor in China, building supply chains halfway around the world. Then reality hit. Pandemic disruptions, geopolitical tensions. Shipping costs had doubled, heck, tripled overnight. Suddenly, distance became a liability. Poland sits in the exact right place at the exact right time. It's inside the European Union. No tariffs, no border headaches, but costs run 40% cheaper than Germany. The workforce is highly skilled, engineers and technicians who know modern factories, and Poland is right there, a truck ride from Germany's massive consumer market. LG Energy Solution built Europe's largest battery plant in Wrocław, capacity exceeding 100 gigawatt-hours annually. That's enough batteries for over 1 million electric vehicles every year. Danone opened a planned center in Katowice, investing over 20 million euros. Denmark's Toms Group is relocating its entire production to Poland, with a factory in Nowa Sól becoming the central hub. The investment runs into 9 figures. Picture this: a German auto supplier, third-generation family businesses facing a decision. Energy costs made their margins razor thin. Their workforce is aging, so they move to Wrocław. Younger workers, modern plant, lower costs. Still shipping to the same customers, just from a different address. But now, they're profitable again. And if nearshoring alone explains the factory relocations, the real transformation becomes visible when you follow the battery supply chains now converging on Polish soil. Electric vehicles need batteries. Lots of them. And Europe made a decision: stop depending on China. The problem? Building battery plants requires massive capital, skilled workers, and stable energy. Poland checked every box. Poland now hosts Europe's second-largest battery manufacturing capacity. LG Energy Solutions' Wrocław factory alone will reach 115 gigawatt-hours by the middle of this decade. SK Nexelis invested over 3 billion Polish zloty in the copper foil plant in Stalowa. Copper foil is the backbone of every lithium-ion battery. Without it, electric vehicles don't exist. Enchem, a Korean electrolyte manufacturer, became the only producer of lithium salt in Europe. Capcom invested 50 million euros in an electrolyte production plant. Impact Clean Power Technology is constructing Gigafactory X near Warsaw for battery systems. Here's what that means. Poland is building the supply chain that powers Europe's green transition, not just assembling batteries, producing the raw materials, the components, the finished systems. The European Union set a target. Local battery production must meet 80% of European electric vehicle demand by 2030. Poland is positioning itself as the engine of that transformation. The future scenario is coming into focus fast. In 5 years, when you buy an electric car in Europe, there's a strong chance the battery inside came from Poland. Poland positioned itself to power Europe's green future, but the bigger industrial surge is building weapons no one saw coming. Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed everything. Europe woke up to a reality it had ignored for decades. Military strength matters. And Poland, sitting on NATO's eastern flank, responded with the most aggressive defense buildup on the continent. Poland spent $35 billion on defense in 2024. That's 4.2% GDP, the highest in NATO. For context, the United States spends about 3.5%. In 2025, the budget jumps to 4.7%. But Poland isn't just buying weapons, it's building the factories to produce them. New artillery production lines, drone integration hubs, tank assembly facilities, Rheinmetall, Lockheed Martin, Koreans Hanwha, all setting up shop in Poland. The feedback loop is powerful. Defense spending creates manufacturing jobs, those jobs demand skilled labor, universities pump out engineers, infrastructure gets built, tax revenue flows in, the government invests more, the wheel keeps turning. Imagine a country that becomes the supply base for Europe's entire eastern flank. That's Poland in 2030. When Estonia needs artillery shells, when Lithuania orders drones, when NATO stocks munitions. All of it flows through Polish factories. This isn't just about weapons. It's about advanced manufacturing, precision engineering, logistics at scale, and Poland built the factories to supply Europe's defense needs. But the real power lies in controlling the corridors everything moves through. Geography is destiny, and Poland's geography just became Europe's most valuable real estate. Poland controls the corridors, north to south, east to west. Everything flows through Polish territory. The Baltic ports of Gdansk and Gdynia connect Scandinavia to Central Europe. Rail lines run east into Ukraine, west into Germany, south through the Czech Republic. Poland is the hub, and hubs always capture value. Poland's mega airport project, 40 kilometers west of Warsaw, will handle 40 million passengers initially, expanding to 100 million. High-speed rail will connect Warsaw, Wrocław, Poznan, and Gdansk in under 2 hours. The investment tops 131 billion zloty. Then there's Ukraine. Poland is building the logistics backbone for Ukrainian reconstruction. When Ukraine rebuilds, and it will, Polish logistics companies will be moving the materials. Rail freight is exploding. Intermodal transport in Poland jumped nearly 10% in 2024, reaching 2.72 million TEU. China's Belt and Road traffic through the Brest-Terespol crossing surged by over 130%. Poland is the gateway for Chinese goods entering Europe. Energy security is part of the equation too. Poland built LNG terminals on the Baltic coast, breaking dependence on Russian gas. That energy independence means manufacturing stability. Poland controls its own energy supply. Poland controls the corridors, but what investors keep missing is the demographic advantage powering those factories, and the numbers will reveal a workforce edge Germany can't match. Poland's workers are younger on average than Germany's. The median age in Poland is 42. In Germany, it's 47. That 5-year gap is everything in industrial terms. Younger workers adapt faster. They are more willing to relocate. They cost less to train. Poland maintained technical schools through the post-communist transition when many Eastern European countries let theirs collapse. Now those schools are feeding skilled labor directly into factories. LG Energy Solution employs thousands in Wrocław, Mercedes-Benz, SK Nexelis, Northvolt, all recruiting Polish workers. Wages are rising. Yes, Poland's minimum wage hits 4,300 zloty monthly, up from 3,492 just 2 years earlier. But compare that to Germany, where minimum wage is double. Poland still offers a cost advantage. The bigger point is productivity. Polish workers are delivering German-level output at Polish wages. That arbitrage is gold, and Germany is hitting labor shortages across industries. Poland still has slack in the system. Here's a fact most people miss. Poland leads Central and Eastern Europe in business services. Over 1,800 service centers employing more than 430,000 people. Those aren't factory jobs. They are IT specialists, financial analysts, logistics coordinators. Companies aren't just moving factories to Poland, they're moving research and development. Poland is climbing the value chain faster than economists predicted. And if Poland's upward trajectory looks unstoppable, the real test emerges when you examine the structural cracks forming beneath all that growth. But let's be honest, Poland's rise isn't guaranteed. There are cracks in the foundation. Rising wages are narrowing the cost advantage. That 4,300 zloty minimum wage is climbing fast. At some point, if wages keep rising, the arbitrage disappears. Housing shortages are becoming a crisis in major cities. Warsaw, Wrocław, Poznan, rents are skyrocketing as workers flood in. When housing costs eat into wages, workers get restless. Energy transition costs are still high. Polish electricity prices are volatile. Energy-intensive industries need stability, not surprises. Then there's the biggest risk: over-reliance on Germany. Nearly 30% of Poland's EU exports go to Germany. If Germany's economy stays in recession, Polish factories feel it immediately. Political instability creates investor hesitation. Poland has seen significant political shifts. Investors crave predictability. When governments change policies on taxes and regulations, companies get nervous. These aren't hypothetical problems, they're real vulnerabilities. Those vulnerabilities could derail Poland's rise, but the real answer depends on whether the flywheel spinning now can overcome the structural risks before they compound. Poland sits exactly where Germany sat in the 1970s. Young workforce, rising industry, foreign capital pouring in. Germany in the 70s became Europe's economic engine. The transformation took 2 decades. Poland is moving faster. Contrast the trajectories. Germany is slowing, aging, losing manufacturing jobs by the hundreds of thousands, and Poland is expanding, modernizing, attracting capital at a pace that seemed impossible 10 years ago. The flywheel is spinning. More factories create more skilled jobs. More jobs demand more infrastructure. More infrastructure attracts more investment. The cycle feeds itself. The future scenario is coming into focus. Poland as the central manufacturing core of Europe's defense, electric vehicle, and advanced industrial systems. Not a satellite economy, a powerhouse in its own right. When you buy a European-made electric vehicle in 2030, the battery came from Poland. When NATO orders artillery, it's manufactured in Polish factories. When goods move from China to Germany, they flow through Polish logistics hubs. Poland becomes indispensable. Wait until you see how fast this transformation accelerates over the next 5 years. The question isn't whether Poland will become an industrial powerhouse. The question is, how much of Europe's manufacturing will end up there by 2035? If you want to understand the new industrial map of Europe, smash that subscribe button because Poland's rise is only beginning. Drop a comment. Can Poland maintain this momentum, or will other countries catch up? Hit like if this changed how you see Europe's future. More deep dives coming soon.